Hey there, resin artists. In this video, you're not going to want to miss this. It's a brand new product that has come out from a fantastic supplier. It's going to show you how to save time when curing your resin. With it, by the end of this video, you're going to see resin that normally takes 24 hours to cure in just 2. So if that's what you're interested in, let's get straight to it. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel CCUK Resin. And you do not know how excited I am for this video. I've had this package in my possession for around about 2 weeks, but I've not been able to do anything with it because I promised resiners that I won't release a video or test it or do anything with it. And this comes out, this will be available on pre-sale, and it will be in the description how you can get yourself one of these. So I did a review a little while ago on the curing machine from Resiners, and I love their products, to be honest with you. Now they got some feedback from creators on how they might be able to improve it a little bit, and they've done it, guys. They've not only improved it, they've also added to it. So for those of you with tiny spaces like mine that also suffer from being, let's say, a little bit impatient, this curing machine could be the solution. And it is, without further ado, the amazing G3 machine. And look at that, absolutely stunning design. And you know me, I won't unbox anything until I can do it on a video so you get to see it at the same time as me. And if you can hear my debubbler in the background, I apologize, but I'm going to test this out. So I'm mixing up some resin, and we're just going to do some simple blooms for the giveaways, for the members giveaways. Because if you've joined my channel, and I might extend it till the end of August, as a member, I'm going to guarantee you a piece of my art. And I love my blooms. And I think it'd be really cool if I can get some resin coasters done to send out to everyone. But this is about the unboxing. This is hopefully about seeing this beautiful machine and seeing if it cures resin a little bit faster. And I always love the packaging from Resiners. It's always second to none. Great quality when it comes. And I believe the price for this, if you use my discount code, CCUK, is going to be about $100 for a curing machine and, wait for it, a UV light inbuilt into the curing machine. So I'm just going to take it out of the box and then we're going to have a look. And here we go. It is out of the box, and I'm glad to say I'm loving the design, guys. It is very Resiners, beautiful. It's got that green. I almost think it looks like the Smeg kitchen appliance as well. So this is how it comes out of the box. You get the machine pre-built. You get a lovely silicone placement mat for inside the unit. And I believe that also shows you exactly where those UV lights are going to be strongest. And who would have thought of putting a UV light inside a curing machine? So let's have a look at the manual. So it's the dual cure. And the great thing is this is higher than previous ones, so you can fit higher molds in. The base is really sturdy as well. And you can set your timer, so you can do it quicker or you can do it slower. It's got flat mold, it's got a flat mold mode, it's got a tall mold mode as well, which is for higher molds. It looks like they've thought about absolutely everything in this curing machine. So we're going to test it out. And one of the complaints that I know a few people said about the previous model was the base wasn't very sturdy. Now I've seen videos with the new base with people actually standing on that. Look at that. That is solid and it's not going anywhere. And it's obviously, if you want it taller, you can flip it around like that and you can have taller molds in there. If you want it shorter, you can have it close to the surface if that's what you want to do. And I believe it works both way rounds with this lid. You can just lift it up and there is some good clearance there, guys. Frog would fit in there, no problem. Let's see if a skull would. That'd be interesting. I've got a skull mold outside of me. Definitely. And you've still got probably another 2 inches of clearance on top of a standard skull mold. So you can fit a mold in that sort of tall, which is a massive improvement on the last model, guys. I'm going to use it on tall mode, and I'm going to put the silicone mat in just because I want to protect it. I don't want to risk getting it in a mess. But look at that. It's pretty straightforward as a unit. The cable looks longer than the last one, which I'm really happy about, because the last one I had, the cable was a little bit short, if I'm being honest. And then, in this lid, and I've got the UK plug, I know it comes with a US plug as well. Look at that. You've got a UV light inbuilt as well. So you can do UV on your coasters or whatever you want to use it on in that same unit. And then you've got it ready as a curing machine. Now my space, I'm going to get a extension lead because I've got a very limited space here. And actually that cord is a lot better than the last model. So I'm just going to bring the extension lead over so we can get it plugged in. And then I'm going to be curious to see for this experiment if I can fit a 6 coaster mold in there. I think I can. Just. Not quite. So you could fit a 4 coaster mold in. So what I was going to do, I'm now not going to do, and I'm going to slightly think of another plan. I'm just going to do 4 coasters. Now, what I think these curing machines are really useful for, so these are those little coaster molds. They're like flowers. The last time I used them on a video was for the 2D blooms. And I think you should easily be able to fit the 4 in there. Look at that. Yes, you can. So we're going to make 4 little coasters. Nothing too fancy. I'm just going to do some alcohol ink ones. Like so. And I'm going to do them in the base of this. And then, before we go any further, I just want to plug it in and see what does what. So I am going to get gloved up as well because I've got some resin in the debubbler. And the great thing about this, I'm running a little bit low on my fast cure resin. So for this experiment, I'm going to use the curing machine and I'm going to use standard high gloss resin. And hopefully it should still cure in about 2.5 hours. So let's switch it on. There we go. And that's on. That's flat. That's tall. Or UV. Look at that. Great little piece of kit. So, I don't need the UV though, so I'm going to switch it off. And we're going to use it. I think you need to leave your finger on. Yeah, so if you leave your finger on, it switches off. So, now I want to make sure. In fact, I'm just going to use it on the flat base like that. I'm not going to use the silicone sheet. I don't think I'm going to need it for this. And I'm just going to put these 4 coaster molds. And that's all this is going to be, is 4 coasters. Bloom coasters we're going to do. And I've never tried a bloom in a curing machine. So that's going to be interesting. And then at the side, because I'm going to have some spare resin, I'm going to do a big one as well, which will obviously have to cure overnight. But as I say, I love the look of this curing machine and I'm excited to see what results we get. So I'm just going to put that one as well to the side. But this is mainly going to be about this curing machine, and it's going to be about how this is going to hopefully cure our standard resin in 2.5 to 3 hours. And as I said, the design for me is massive improvement, this G3 machine. And the fact they even put a UV light in there, I think is really cool. So I'm just giving these a white because I want these to be clean for this to work. And then I'm going to get a piping bag set up. I'm going to get the resin out the debubbler, get gloved up, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, and we're back, and I've got the resin out of the debubbler. Look at that, crystal clear. And again, if you want one of those, get over to resiners.com and use my discount code CCUK to get yourself some money off. There we go. It's pretty much at 36 degrees. So this is just a standard 1-to-1 resin. So I'm pretty happy that we're good to go. So I'm just going to pour some into the cup for my white. And I'm going to try and do 5 coasters here. So I want it about 3/4 of the way full, I'm going to guesstimate. And I hope that's going to be enough to get enough white in all of these. And then I'm just going to fill these up pretty much. Not quite fill, because I'm going to do some pretty, hopefully pretty anyway, alcohol ink blooms this time. And the key thing I'm wanting to do here is not actually testing the bloom. It's going to be testing how quickly it cures, because those of you that use a standard 1-to-1 resin know that it should take 24 hours. And I'm hoping this curing machine reduces that down to 2 to 3 hours, which is a massive time saving, guys, especially if you're doing lots of projects at once. There we go. I'm pretty happy that they've all got a decent enough layer. But I do want these flower ones to be almost full because they're not that deep, guys. And the white is still going to go in, but I still want to make sure that there's enough resin in them to almost fill them. There we go. And then the rest of that can just go straight in my big mould at the side. I'm still going to have a tiny bit left, but I've got a few ideas on what I'm going to do with that. In fact, I've got a frog to the side of me, which still needs filling. But let's mix up that white. And all I'm going to use for these blooms, dead straightforward, I'm going to use the ocean white pigment paste that most of us have. And I'm just going to put 2 drops in there. 1 in a squiggly line, and 2. And I think that'll be perfect for this bloom. Then we're going to mix the white. I'm going to do it on a ice lolly stick so that you can see the consistency that we're looking for. And this isn't about it being a bloom tutorial, guys. If you want to see those, there's plenty on my channel. This is about this G3 curing machine. And genuinely, when I'm telling you I'm excited about this, I am, because I am very impatient. And if I can find something that's going to reduce that and still cure the resin in a great way, I'm going to try it, you know. And resin is, so far, every machine I've used from them has been high quality and I've had no issues. You know, I always use things like the Pure Air to help purify the air around me. I use the debubbler pretty much daily and I've not had any issues. But that's what I'm looking for. Quite opaque, but still semi-transparent. So that can go into my piping bag at the side. And I want all of it out into that because there is a risk here that we may run out. I haven't done specifically 5 before. And then I've got a load of alcohol ink. So this is just going to be fun. Now, I'm just going to start off dropping random colours in these and we'll see what we get. So I want 2 drops of yellow, I think, in the centre of each. Always shake your alcohol inks as well before you use them. And now we're just going to go to town. I've got lots of different colours at the side of me. So again, just give them a quick shake. So this one, I think I want to be this really bright peach red. And if you've not used it before, guys, just be aware it will stain your mould. There we go, and that didn't. And I think I'm happy with those. What I am going to do is not too much, but I do want to swirl some of these through. So I'm just going to get my stick and move it around just a little bit. And I think that will give us a cool blend of different colours. And then I am going to do something more to the centre of these. And this is just something I like to do. I like to blend the alcohol inks once they're on the surface, because I think it's almost like when you do the Petri, you get a slightly different colour effect in each of the petals. And then all I'm going to do is start off with that original yellow, which wasn't the lemon yellow, it was the dandelion yellow, and put a drop in each centre again before we go in with the white. And that will just push those colours back out a little bit and keep that centre a little bit more yellow. And I think I'm happy with that. I think they're looking pretty cool. So now it's the daunting part, it's the white. And I need to try and get a bit of a spiral design in these before we pull them out. And I can feel that that white has really warmed up now, which tells me it is certainly up to temperature, which is good. But it also tells me that I need to get a bit of a shifty on here. Right, and then we're just going to go from the centre of each, creating the clock spiral, I think, initially. So all I'm going to do is, with this mould, I find it's best to just pull it in from where each of these petals are, wiping your stick in between. Like so. There we go. Pretty happy with those overall, but we won't know until we demold. So this should help with that. Just going to put this on, making sure I don't drop it on the lid. And that's it. I can leave it on flat. And that is on now for 2 hours. And we're going to see what's going to happen. Hopefully, they're going to be cured in about 2 hours' time. And we're going to see what they look like. So I'll see you guys in 2 hours. And let's see if this G3 curing machine from Resiners can cure standard epoxy in the same time that it would take to do it in a fast cure epoxy. I'll see you in a sec. So here we go, guys. It's been 2 hours. This has gone off. Let's have a look. They look cured. And let's have a look at what we've got. Now, I know when you put resin in a curing machine, it's meant to lower the viscosity of the resin. So I'm not sure how these are going to work, but they're definitely cured, which is the main thing. And this is normal 1:1 resin, which should have taken 24 hours. And instead, it's taken 2. So let's demold them. Let's see what we've got. It's not about the blooms for these. It's more about whether we cured the resin. And I think we have. It's solid. Look at that. A little bit heavy in places, and I think that's because the viscosity of the resin lowered because it went in a curing machine, but that is definitely cured, guys. I don't know about you, but I still like that. I don't think the blobbing in it has actually ruined it. I think it's still made it pretty. There we go, another one as well. Look at that. So it's a slightly different effect. I think that's because I've done it in the curing machine. But I like them. And these are going to be given away in the members giveaway. So at the end of the month, somebody's going to get these in the post, and I hope they like them. Yeah, that one's a little bit heavier, which is a shame. Couple of bits of blobbing, but I still like it. And what I might try, just with blooms, is letting them settle for an hour before putting the curing machine on. Same with that one, a little bit heavy in places, but do you know what? I like the effect. And it's very different to a traditional bloom. So that's that. Next, we're going to do an experiment with that UV light, just to see how that works as well. And we're going to put it in the curing machine as well and see what happens. So, I'm going to mix up some resin, get set up, and then we're going to test out the UV light and the curing machine. So here we go, guys, the same mold, and I'm going to speed through this so you haven't got a 3-hour video to watch, because it's mainly about seeing what this G3 can do. So I've got the same mold, and I thought, as an idea, I wanted to try something with UV. So I'm just going to go around the edges of this mold and in the center with a little bit of UV resin. Then I'm going to mix up some dish soap or a washing up liquid, whatever you want to call it, to create some bubbles. I'm going to put that on top of the UV resin. Then we're going to use the UV light to cure it. Then we're going to brush on some chameleon powders. Then I'm going to put a bit of a bloom in there. And I thought, for the depth side of things, we're going to try a bit of a cool effect with a skull as well. But I'm going to fast forward past this, so we haven't got a 3-hour video. We're going to test out that UV light. We're then going to put a full-size skull mold in here with this bloom once it's done, which is about a 9.5 ounce piece, guys, to see if it cures that in 2 hours as well. So I'm going to fast forward past this, and if you want a more in-depth tutorial on how I've done either of these, put it in comments and I'll make it happen for you. But so far, I am so impressed with this G3. So I'm just going to fast forward through this project now. We're going to switch on the G3 UV light and we're going to test it. Then we're going to cure both of these pieces in the G3. And here we go, guys. The alarm's gone off, means we're done, and we're going to demold. And it looks cured, so that's always good. And so's this bloom. Going to do the bloom first, I think, just because I'm intrigued as to what it's turned out like, if there's a cool effect or not. And if there is, I'm probably going to do another video just using this effect. So we will see what it's turned out like, hopefully. And again, I didn't wait any extra time, so I'm expecting it to be quite heavy. Oh, it is. Not sure I'm a fan. Got that lovely bubble effect. I can call this one Bubble and Blobs. What do you think? But I do quite like that bubble effect going around the edges. So I may try this again and just leave it an hour before I actually put it in the curing machine. So there we go. That is the first one. And it's definitely cured. There's no stickiness or anything like that. So on that side of things, it's definitely worked. And let's have a look at this skull and see if that's created any cool effects or not. So again, just folding it over. Once you've got that initial fold over, they demold pretty easily, but you've got to get that sort of fold across first. Ooh, this is going to be nice. Here we go. Oh wow, look at this.
I absolutely love that skull. Look at this. And I've cut myself a little bit. Look at that. Resin is sharp, guys, so be careful. But that has turned out amazing. I absolutely love that. Just with those different micas, the white that was left over. Pretty cool effect, I think. Let me know what you think in comments. But for me, this G3 curing machine is great. It cures well. You've got the UV light inbuilt as well. And for the money, which I think is around about $100 with my discount code, is absolutely amazing, and it saves space on your worktop as well. So Resiners, you have done it again. An amazing product that works really well, allows us to save time when we're doing resin, and it reduces our curing time from 24 hours down to just 2. It is phenomenal, guys. And again, you can fit taller molds in. I could actually get away, I think, with a mold that was probably 1.5 to 2 inches taller than this skull. So I don't really use any molds that are much taller than that, so I'm really excited by playing with this more. Thank you, Resiners, for sending it. And don't forget, guys, if you want one of these or anything else from Resiners, get on the website resiners.com and use that discount code CCUK to get yourself some money off. So it's been a fun video, a fun little experiment, and I'll see you on the next video. But for me, it's a winner, and I'll see you soon.